Our next speaker is Pat Meehan.
Let's get Pat.
I'm excited to hear this talk. It's called All Out in August, and his goal is to inspire you to finish August strong. There are 2 weeks left. Regardless of your situation, it's about, hey, asking yourself, what can you do? What can I do? What can I do? Some of you, I think if you really thought about it, you could probably say, all right, these past 2 weeks I probably could have done more. But hey, that's all in the past. So it doesn't matter what you think of it, bless you. It matters, hey, what can I do when I leave this event? Pat Meehan, by the way, was a sales rep, an assistant manager, and ran his own branch office as well last summer. He started with Cutco 3 years ago. So he started with Cutco 3 years ago. Sales rep, assistant manager, branch manager, has done all that as of last summer, right? So then he's still been here another year since then. So that was all within his first 2 years. He sold over $100,000 worth of Cutco. So he makes, well, he does. You do make half, right? Yeah, because it's I forget what half is now, like 150. But your branch sales count as part of your career sales. But his career, personal, like with Cutco customers, over $100,000 in personal sales. I asked, hey, by the way, he goes to Fordham University, and he's a psychology major. I asked him, hey, what was one of your most memorable experiences with Vector? He said, my first yacht night, because I really had to expand out of my comfort zone in order to achieve it. And I'm excited to have him come up and talk to you about really going all out in August. Let's hear it for him, Pat Meehan.
Guys, so this is my first talk, so go easy on me. Just kind of laugh at all my jokes. No, I'm just kidding. So I also have the toughest talk though, because I got to talk about finishing August strong. And I know, like right around now, it's kind of like that feeling. Oh, we just did SE2. We just did Conference of Champions. I got to pack for school. I want to hang out with my friends, my girlfriend, my family. Well, I'm exhausted too myself going through those things, and that thought has occurred to me a couple times, but you know what? It's not actually legit. It's kind of BS. Because the truth is, you have 168 hours in a week, and no one spends 160 hours with their friends and family. You also, packing, that usually takes me like 2 hours. I kind of do it the morning of. But anyways, I digress. So, I myself am exhausted from SE2 and Conference of Champions, especially when things don't go as planned. My SE2 actually went really, really bad. I still won yacht night, but my goal was to do 30,000, and you probably think, okay, you probably did like half of that. I didn't even do a quarter of it. I did like 7,200. That's like what I did my first summer at Vector. And I had a really hard time. It was really, really tough. My last 4 days, I went into it, and I made 200 phone calls. I kid you not, I set up 3 people. That is like horrendously bad. But I'm a really positive guy, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna clear the slate, fresh day, fresh start. I'm gonna find a way to fill my schedule up. So my mentor, who is JPB, I don't know if you guys know Jeffrey Paul Broderick. He was the guy he's awesome, he's fantastic. He had the idea of calling my past customers that were over 1.5 years old for service calls. So I was like, what a great idea, why not just do that? So I did that, and it was kind of cool because it was like the easiest phone time ever. It's like, yo, what's up, man? How's it been going? Yeah, you want me to sharpen your knives? Okay, cool, yeah, I'll come over then. So I was able to fill up my last 2 days. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna sell a lot the last 2 days. I go in, second to last day, reschedule, no show. I go into the next one, all the way to Landenberg, PA, which is like a 45-minute drive. And I get there, and the daughter answers the door, and I'm like, is your mom home? And she's like, yeah, I think she meant to call you, but let me call her. So she comes back 2 minutes later, and she's like, so my mom told me that you can do the demonstration for me to get credit. I'm not gonna do a demonstration for a 21-year-old, that's crazy. I wasn't that mean, don't worry. You're probably like, wow, that guy's a jerk. But I was actually really chill about it. I was like, okay, I'll just call her back. It's not a big deal. By the way, when I did call her back in August, she was like, yeah, I really don't feel like doing it. I was like, so basically I drive to your house, total of 90 minutes, and you do this to me. But besides the point, positive thinking. I go into my next demo. I drive another 45 minutes. It's a no-show. And I normally, like, I have people that cancel like any other sane person, but like 3 no-shows in one day is super rare. So I'm like, all right, maybe just like the most inconsiderate people in one day. But anyways, I make all the right decisions. I do phone time. I go into my next day, and same thing kind of happens. I don't really sell much. And I remember this moment very clearly. It was 7 at night. I'm like exhausted, ready to throw in the towel, and I'm like, great idea. I'm gonna call all my past customers for that sales email I sent out, because I have fast action, so I can see who saw it, who clicked through what. I called, I'd say 45 people, talked to maybe 8, 0 sales. But you know what? Positive thinking. So I go into the last morning, and I call some of my customers who said, I want to talk to my husband. And this one lady who I really love, she's like, Catholic family, 8 kids, like literally no money, stereotypical large Catholic family. So I call her, and she's like, well, we would love to get that saucepan, but we've been saving up for the last 2 years to get a new faucet. So we have to save a whole nother year to get the saucepan. And I was like, okay. So my SC2 didn't go that great, but you know what? I figured my August would go great. I come back from vacation, don't have the best day back. 4 demos, complete 3, not much sales. Go on vacation again, and I just came back from a show in Maryland that I did with JPB. We worked 12 hours every day for 3 days in a row, plus it was an hour from where we were sleeping at, so we didn't have any free time. But this show was like freaking sick. Like this was like a fair, but it wasn't just like any fair, like the one where your parents like, do you want to like come to the fair and like play bingo and pet the sheep? It's like, no mom, I'm 20 years old, I don't do that anymore. This one was really, really cool. It had like, it was basically like Six Flags. It had like, scream swings, like all kinds of stuff. And I was like, so we're totally gonna have a lot of people coming. And we're paying, by the way, $220 to be there. Guess what happened? I don't know what it was like for you guys, but it was so hot this weekend that no one wanted to come out because everyone's like, it's a 2-week long show, we'll go next weekend. So traffic was kind of like non-existent. Second day in, I sold nothing. JPB sold a trimmer, and I lost money, and JPB probably broke even. But despite like all those circumstances, nothing really going my way, the way I wanted it to go, I just think that my original plan was to close out August strong. So sure, I could take the easy road. I could say, oh, I have to go back to Fordham. I have to plan. I gotta spend time with my friends and family, which by the way, I am gonna do those things. But the shop's really flexible, so I can do both. And my plan was originally to finish the summer strong. And I've come to realize what finishing the summer strong is not selling a lot of Cutco. I know this is counterintuitive, but it's not that I don't have a goal. I do have a goal to sell 15,000 by the end of August. But I'm not going to determine my success by my results. My success is me not giving up in the face of adversity and finishing strong, because that's what I need to do to be successful here. And I like to think of Stuart Scott, because Stuart Scott, he was a guy who was an ESPN anchor. I don't know if anyone saw the SB talk that he did about cancer. No? Okay, cool. So I love that talk because he gave a talk, he had cancer, and by the way, he did pass away, but he still beat cancer. Because his message was, you beat cancer when you don't let cancer control your life and dictate who you are. Even if you pass away, that's beating cancer. And for me, that's so emotional because my own father died from cancer, from skin cancer. And he had skin cancer for about 5 years. And he was the kind of man who didn't let adversity stop him from being what he wanted to do. His goal in life was to be a great father. And he was a fantastic father because he made the tough decisions. 2 months before he passed away, the doctor said, you're probably gonna die, so here's some morphine. It'll make it bearable, so your last 2 months aren't excruciatingly painful. He turned that down because he knew if he was on morphine his last 2 months, he would be kind of loopy, wouldn't really be able to spend much time with us or make really any sense. So he made the decision, I'm just gonna suffer extreme pain so I can spend time with my family. And that's the kind of, decision that he made because his goal was to be a great dad. And that's what great dads do. He was also the kind of man that he took care of my mother by saving. He was the kind of man that had a life insurance policy for when he died, which he knew he would, that my mom would have over $1 million to take care of the family. And what I love most about my dad is that he taught me to finish, what you started, to keep to your word. Not through what he said, but just through his actions. I remember one of the last times we talked, and it's actually a really funny story. So I'm not like the most commonsensical type of person, and I had never opened up a window for some reason when I was 13. And there's like the locks on the windows, you'd open it, but my window had like a double lock for some reason. You couldn't really see in like the blinders, so you'd like kind of push it in. Anyways, my dad's like struggling to breathe right now. He's in extraordinary pain, and all he wants is someone to open the damn windows. Guess what? I didn't know how to open the windows. I'm like, I'm opening it. I'm opening the locks. What's going on? And man, he yelled at me so hard. I think I've never been that scared in my life before. I thought he was going to kill me. So he had to open it himself, and I remember, 3 nights before he passed away, this was the last conversation we ever had. And it was him apologizing to me. He was saying that, Patrick, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you. I just want you to know how to open the windows in case there was a fire. But I didn't mean to be that hard on you. And that's why he was a great father, because he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that. He could have said, I'm suffering from cancer. I'm going to die. And, he should have known how to open the windows. I don't have to apologize. He was the kind of man that would admit when he was wrong and did the really courageous thing. And that's why when I think about August, I think about the best way I can honor my father is by finishing August strong and not telling myself lies that I can't finish August strong because I don't have time or I have to pack or I have to do any of that. I am going to do those things, but this job is flexible, so I can do both. And I also just don't want to regret it because when my father passed away, being a 13-year-old boy, I didn't really know how to handle it. So I was really angry, actually. Even though I apologized, I was kind of a jerk. I was just like, I don't really care. He's kind of mean to me. And I was like, kind of glad he passed away because he was really kind of a jerk towards me toward the end. And I always kind of regretted, feeling that way and not telling him how much he meant to me. I really did regret that. But you know what? I learned that as people, we tend to hide our feelings, our emotions, and our regret because it hurts too much. So that was the way I kind of dealt with it. It was just through anger and misunderstanding myself. And when I think about this push, this might be the last summer that I work here. And I don't want to regret this moment too because I didn't take the most out of it. I didn't leave it all out in the field. And that's why I want to go big this August. And I can't, obviously make anyone else go big or anyone else want to work hard. All I can ask is maybe that you're inspired to at least kind of want to take this journey with me and finish this August strong. So anyways, that's all I really have for you guys. Thank you for letting me, come up here and talk a little bit.
Let's give it up one more time for Pat Meehan.